Okay, today we're going to show you how to change your wireless network's password and what all is involved with that. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, you have to figure out what the IP address of your wireless access point is. Now, most of the time it'll be functioning as a default gateway. So what you can do is you can start a command line. You can do that, go in here, command prompt. If it's not there, go into accessories, command prompt, like that, and start it. Or you can go search cmd.exe, and that should bring it up as well. I have it as a shortcut configured the way I want it, so I'm just going to click my shortcut. So we do an IP config -all. Now, you have to search through yours. Hopefully yours won't be as complicated as mine is, but we go over here, you see where it says default gateway right here, and that's the IP address we want. So we'll just right click that because we have insert mode on this computer's, and what we'll do is copy it in there. Okay, there we go. Now I was already logged in. It's important to remember that in addition to your wireless password for your wireless clients to connect to your network, there's also a password to log on to your router, your wireless router. So let's not forget that. Now, how do you determine that if you don't know it? Well, go over and look and write down the name of your wireless router and the manufacturer, and look through your documentation and see if it's covered there. If not, you can go to your vendor's website, which in my case is Azusa's. Here's the manufacturer and the model number of my router. So I could go to Azusa's and look into this documentation for this particular router and see if I can find it that way. Also, if you haven't changed it, it's on the default settings, and you could type in default wireless access point passwords, and you should be able to find it that way as well. So let's look at this. Yeah, see, this has the manufacturer and the model, and then this column down here is password. Now if you look through this real quick, you'll see that a lot of them are blank or admin, or some of them are user, but there's only probably about a dozen different ones on this list. So if you're, the bad thing about this is if you're a hacker, you could know those default passwords and make it very easy to get into your router and change things like your wireless password so that none of your clients could connect and things like that. So it's a good idea to set a new one there, isn't it? So to do that is different. So we're talking about two passwords here, right? The password to log into your wireless router, which is what we're talking about right now, and then we're going to change your wireless access points client password. So in other words, somebody has a device on your network, the password they use just to connect to the network, and then you have the password to connect to the device or router itself. So I think this would be under, let's see, let's try administration and then probably system. Sure enough. Now for security, mine's showing up as blank. So that's in case I forget to log off, somebody else can't just come in here and copy it and change everything. So, but this is where you set this, and be sure and write this down and don't lose it. And we'll show you how to do that in a minute. But this is very important. You don't want anybody to just be able to change your settings. They can make it so you can't get in to your own or connect to your own wireless access point. Okay, so let's see if we can figure out where to set the wireless password for your clients. So let's go over here to wireless. Now there's two things really. One is the SSID, and that's your network name. And as you can see, I've changed this to a non-standard. A lot of times this is just generic name like access point. I should have it on here. Well, usually default network or something like that if you don't change it. And you can easily determine this just by starting a radio and view wireless networks, and it'll show you what your name is as long as you have SSID broadcasting, and that's this setting, hide SSID. So I have no, that means that anybody who turns on a radio is going to see the SSID or network name of my wireless network. Okay, so where's the password? Well, it's down here. See where it says PreShared Key? That's what it's talking about there, is the password that your wireless clients are going to need to connect to your network. So that's what we're going to change. Now, how do we change it? Well, if you have a password utility, like I do, this is LastPass, I can go down here to where it says generate password, and I could just kind of click through there. Each time I click, it changes, right? So I could copy password there. If you don't have one of those, you could search Gibson generate password, and Steve Gibson has a page here that if you just click this, you can see they change. He has 63 now. I'm not sure that all wireless access points take a full 63 characters, but they probably will at least take half that. So select about half of it. Unless you want to try the full amount, you could try that. Some of them do and some of them don't. So make sure to make a note of this. Also, you want the, if you've changed your SSID, it doesn't hurt to get a copy of that too. Again, as long as it's broadcasting, you'll probably see it. So this isn't going to be that critical unless you have SSID turned off. Or I should say SSID discovery turned off. So there's that, and this is the wireless password. Like that. What was the other thing you need to keep a handle on? And that's the router password. And we set that, so be sure and copy whatever you had on that right there. Okay. Now that we've chosen that, we're going to, like I said, copy it into a piece, a Word document. We're going to save as, and what we're going to do is we're going to save this to a thumb drive. And the reason that we'll do that is because it makes it much easier to connect your clients if you have it on a thumb drive. When you connect the client, you just stick in the thumb drive, and then chances are it will allow you to copy it over. Now, some of your clients might be Linux or something else, right? So it's also a good idea to name this something like, don't name it passwords, but name it something innocuous, like file or something like that. But you could also save it as a text file. I recommend doing that, in fact, because what if you're trying to get it on a gaming device that has USB but it doesn't have Microsoft Word? Well, chances are you'll still be able to access it as a text file, provided there's a text editor on there. So I'm going to save it. Again, I'd change this name from router password to song list or something like that. Good movies. Let's call it good movies. Text. Again, text because you might have some clients that don't have a full-blown Microsoft Office on there, right? So you can also encrypt your thumb drive, or if it's a Word document that you're using, you can put a password on it, things like that too, to make it really secure. But keep that thumb drive in a secure place, obviously. Okay, so now how do we set it up on the client? So we've got it, once we got the settings that we want, we just hit apply here. Now how do we set it up on the client? Let's go to Control Panel and search wireless right here. and manage wireless networks. Right there it is. So if we click this and select properties and then the security tab, that's where we can change it. We'll cancel this so we don't lose our wireless password. And but in your case, you'd want to hit OK. So that's how you do it on the wireless access point and also on your individual clients. Thank you for watching this.